Hi, it's Sue. Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading. It is for May 9th, and I'm reading 1 Chronicles 25 to 27 from the World English Bible. And Google just informed me it is Teacher Appreciation Day. Happy Teacher Appreciation Day to all the teachers. We sure appreciate that gift and all the teachers that are hanging in there in our school system, in homeschools, and every level of education. So important. It's important to me. That's why I homeschooled my children for 12 years. Um, I'm very pro homeschooling and pro vouchers. I know there are different kind of voucher programs. I don't know much about them. I recently learned that there are many states that have them. I didn't know that, and I hope they're properly instituted. I just want to see competition among the schools so we can come up higher. I want to see parental, uh, government of the schools come back to the parental local level. Um, Parents should be the ones deciding who's going to disciple their children. And just the whole system here in the US and many places really needs prayer and intervention. We need God's help. And so, as I said, bless the teachers who are hanging in there. We really appreciate you and all the teachers in every facet and capacity, including here on YouTube. All the influencers at every level. um happy happy Teacher Appreciation Day. All right, for our reading today, 1 Chronicles 25 verse 1. Moreover, David and the captains of the army set apart for the service certain sons of Asaph, and of Heman, and of Jeduthun, who were to prophesy with harps and stringed instruments and cymbals. Isn't that interesting? It says they're going to prophesy with those instruments. Verse 2. The number of those who did the work according to their service was the sons of Asaph, Zachar, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Asharelah. The sons of Asaph were under the hand of Asaph, who prophesied at the order of the king. Now remember, some of the Psalms are titled the Song of Asaph. So I'm assuming it's the same one. He's here under David, so it makes sense. Feel free to comment if you know anything about that, any interesting tidbits. But it says, the son of Asaph were under the hand of Asaph, who prophesied at the order of the king. Of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah, Zerai, Jeshiah, Shimei, Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 under the hands of their father Jeduthun, who prophesied in giving thanks and praising Yahweh with a harp. Oh, speaking of the word Yahweh, be sure to look at that little short that I posted on my community tab by Troy Brewer. He talks about the name Yahweh, and it's not titled that. It begins by talking about our DNA, but it mentions this name Yahweh. It's just an interesting little knowledge nugget there in my community tab. All right, so it says they prophesied giving thanks and praising Yahweh with the harp. So I just want to emphasize this. They prophesied with the harp, and they gave thanks and praise to Yahweh with the harp. Prophesied, thanks, and praise, all with a harp. Of Heman, the sons of Heman, Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uziel, Shebuel, Jeremoth, Hananiah, Eliathah, Gidalti, Romanti, Ezer, Josh, Bikasha, Malathi, Hathir, and Mahaziath. All these were the sons of Heman, the king's seer, in the words of God, to lift up the horn. So here again, it mentions, I never noticed this before. It calls them seers. Seers in the words of God to lift up the horn. So this should be an encouragement to all the musicians and minstrels out there. So they're actually going to use the horn and the words of God to see, which is another way of saying prophesying, and prophesy. Amazing. To praise and thank God. Somebody ought to write a book about that little nugget. There's an idea for you. Next verse. God gave to Heman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these were under the hands of their father for song in Yahweh's house, with cymbals, stringed instruments, and harps for the service of God's house, Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman being under the order of the king. The number of them with their brothers who were instructed in singing to Yahweh, even all who were skillful, was 288. They cast lots for all their offices, all alike, the small as well as the great, the teacher as well as the student. Speaking of teachers. Now the first lot came out for Asaph and Joseph, The first lot came out for Asaph to Joseph. The second to Gedaliah, he and his brothers and sons were 12. The third to Zechar, his sons and his brothers 12. The fourth to Isri, his sons and his brothers 12. The fifth to Nethaniah, his sons and his brothers 12. The sixth to Bukiah, his sons and his brothers 12. The seventh to Jesharelah, his sons and his brothers 12. The eighth to Jeshiah, his sons and his brothers 12. The ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and his brothers 12. The 10th to Shimei, his sons and his brothers 12. The 11th to Azarel, his sons and his brothers 12. The 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and his brothers 12. For the 13th, Shubael, his sons and his brothers 12. 14th, Mattaniah, his sons and brothers 12. 15th, Jeremoth, his sons and brothers 12. 17th to Joshbekasha, his sons and his brothers 12. For the 18th, Hananiah, his sons and brothers 12. 19th, Malathi, his sons and brothers 12. 20th, Eliathah, his sons and brothers 12. For the 21st, to Hothir, his sons and brothers 12. For the 22nd, Gadalti, his sons and brothers 12. 23rd, Mahazioth, his sons and brothers 12. For the 24th, Ramati Ezer, his sons and brothers 12. For the divisions of the doorkeepers of the Korahites, Meshelemiah, the son of Kor, of the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons, Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jadniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, Eliahonai the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons, Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehoshaphat the second, Joah the third, Sacher the fourth, Nathanael the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Hulathai the eighth, for God blessed him. Sons were also born to Shemad, his son, who ruled over the house of their father. For they were mighty men of valor. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni, Raphael, Obed, and Elzabad, whose brothers were valiant men. Elihu and Semachiah, all these were of the sons of Obed-Edom, they and their sons and their brothers, able men in strength for the service, 62 of Obed-Edom. Meshelemiah had sons and brothers, valiant men, 18. Also Hosa of the children of Merari had sons, Shimri the chief, for though he was not the firstborn, yet his father made him chief. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, and Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and brothers of Hoshea were 13. Of these were the divisions of the doorkeepers, even of the chief men, having offices like their brothers, to minister in Yahweh's house. They cast lots, the small as well as the great, according to their fathers' houses, for every gate. And there were quite a few gates. The lot eastward fell to Shelemiah. Then for Zechariah, his son, a wise counselor, they cast lots, and his lot came out northward. To Obed-Edom southward, and to his sons the storehouse. To Shuppim and Hosah westward by the gate of the Shalaketh, at the causeway that goes up, watchmen opposite watchmen. Eastward were 6 Levites, northward 4 a day, southward 4 a day, and for the storehouse 2 and 2. For Parbar westward, 4 at the causeway, 2 at the Parbar. These were the divisions of the doorkeepers of the sons of the Kohathites and the sons of Merari. Of the Levites, Ahijah was over the treasures of God's house, and over the treasures of the dedicated things. The sons of Laden, the sons of the Gershonites belonging to Laden, the heads of the fathers' households belonging to Laden, the Gershonite, Jahili. The sons of Jahili, Zetham and Joel his brother, over the treasures of Yahweh's house. Of the Amranites, of the Isharites, of the Hebronites, and of the Uzzielites, and Shebuel, the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was ruler over the treasures. His brothers of Eleazar, Rehabiah his son, and Jeshiah his son, and Joram his son, and Zichri his son, and Shelomoth his son. This Shelomoth and his brothers were over all the treasures of the dedicated things which David the king and the heads of the fathers' households, the captains over thousands and hundreds, and the captains of the army had dedicated. They dedicated some of the plunder won in battle to repair Yahweh's house. All that Samuel the seer, and Saul the son of Kish, and Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah had dedicated. Whoever had dedicated anything, it was under the hand of Shelomoth and of his brothers. Of Israelites, Chenaniah, his sons, were for the outward business over Israel, for officers and judges. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, men of valor, 1,700, and the oversight. Wait a minute, let me back up. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, men of valor, 1,700, had the oversight of Israel beyond the Jordan westward, for all the business of Yahweh and for the service of the king. Excuse me again. Of the Hebronites, Jeriah was the chief, even of the Hebronites according to their generations by fathers' households. They were sought for in the 40th year of the reign of David, and mighty men of valor were found among them at Jazer of Gilead. His brothers, men of valor, were 2,700 heads of fathers' households, whom King David made overseers over the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manassites, for every matter pertaining to God and for the affairs of the king. Last chapter. Now the children of Israel, after their numbers, heads of fathers' households, and captains of thousands and of 100s, and their officers who served the king, in any matter of the divisions which came in and went out, month by month throughout all the months of the year, of every division were 24,000. Over the first division for the first month of Jashabim the son of Zabdiel, and his division were 24,000. He was of the children of Perez, the chief of all the captains of the army for the first month. Over the division of the second month was Dodai the Ahoite, and his division, and Milcott the ruler, and in his division were 24,000. The third captain of the army for the third month was Benaiah the son of Jehoiada the chief priest. In the division were 24,000, that is, that Benaiah, who was the mighty man of the 30, and over the 30, and of his division was Amizabad his son. The fourth captain for the fourth month was Asahel the brother of Joab, Zebediah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The fifth captain for the fifth month was Shamhuth the Israelite, and in his division were 24,000. The sixth captain for the sixth month was Ira the son of Kesh the Tekoite, and in his division were 24,000. The seventh captain for the seventh month of Helez and Pelonite of the children of Ephraim, in his division were 24,000. The eighth captain of the eighth month was Sibbecai the Hushathite of the Zerahites, in his division were 24,000. The ninth captain for the ninth month was Abiezer the Anathothite of the Benjamites. In his division were 24,000. The 10th captain of the 10th month was Maharai, the Netophathite of the Zerahites. In his division were 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benai Pirathonite of the children of Ephraim. In his division were 24,000. The 12th captain for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophathite of Othniel. In his division were 24,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, the Reubenites, Eleazar the son of Zikri was the ruler. Of the Simonites, Shephatiah the son of Makkah of Levi, Hashabiah the son of Kemuel, of Aaron, Zedek, Judah, Elihu, one of the brothers of David, of Issachar, Omri the son of Michael, Zebulun, Ishmaiah the son of Obadiah, of Naphtali, Jeremoth the son of Azriel, of the children of Ephraim, Hoshea the son of Azaziah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joel the son of Pedaiah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead, Edo the son of Zechariah, of Benjamin, Jasiel the son of Abner, of Dan, Azarel the son of Jeroham. These were the captains of the tribes of Israel. But David didn't take the number of them from 20 years old and under, because Yahweh had said he would increase Israel like the stars of the sky. Joab the son of Zeruiah began to take a census but didn't finish, and wrath came on Israel for this. The number wasn't put into the account in the Chronicles of David. Over the king's treasures was Azmaveth the son of Adiel, and over the treasures in the fields, in the cities, and in the villages, and the towers was Jonathan the son of Uzziah. Over those who did the work of the field for tillage of the ground was Ezri son of Chelub. Over the vineyards, Shimei the Ramathite. Over the increase of the vineyards for the wine cellars, Zabdi the Shifmite. And over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the lowland, Baalhanan the Gederite. And over the cellars of oil, Joash. And over the herds that fed in Sharon, Shitrai and Sharonite. And over the herds that were in the valleys was Shaphat, the son of Adlai, I guess, Adlai. And over the camels was Obil the Ishmaelite, and over the donkeys was Jehedi the Meronothite, and over the flocks Jaziz the Hagrite. All these were rulers of the property which was David, or let me start that over. All these were the rulers of the property which was King David's. Also, Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a man of understanding, and a scribe. Jehiel, the son of Hakmoni, was with the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselor. Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. That's interesting. After Ahithophel was Jehoiada the son of Benaniah, and Abiathar. Joab was the captain of the king's army. And that is it for today's reading. A bunch of names. We endured through it. I'm sure it's even easier to read, as cumbersome as it is, than it is to listen to. At least that's how I feel, because I do re-listen to these. I use them for part of my daily Bible work, discipline. So anyway, we'll get through it, right? Like I said, there's some little interesting tidbits, but not a lot during these parts. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the narratives and the histories and the poetic books, and especially my favorite, the Major and Minor Prophets. So anyway, join me again tomorrow. God bless you.